internet, I've missed you. Welcome to a live episode. Fuck off, Lee.
That was really creepy with your red background.
But I've missed this. I'm proper. Anyway, let me do the intro. Piss off.
Okay, sorry, go on. Go on, yeah.
Welcome to the latest issue of the Ghostlight Social, the show where we bring creative peoples together, we have a chat, we raise our hopes and we dash our fears. Let's bring Lee in because he's just dying to get on, obviously. Hello.
Hello, Mike. I'm not at all. I was just, you had your sort of arms up in the air, and with your red background, a bit sort of gothic, going, "Oh, I've missed you."
I've missed.
It was just
internet.
all. It was it was a little bit sort of dark webby. That's what it felt like.
Hang on, I need this. If we're going to go dark web, I need to preserve my anonymity.
That's done it. Nobody knows who you are now.
Nobody knows who I am.
Yeah. No, well done. In fact, actually, to be fair, the viewers and listeners can't see the shot angle that I can see, so it doesn't look too bad on your actual shot.
Yeah.
Because I get to see this wide-angled nonsense that whatever you've got.
That one.
Anyway, look,
get to see
this
that
is.
one.
Yeah, this is not exciting, is it? Mike, how are you? What have you been doing?
I'm all right, I suppose. It's been a bit of a weird couple of weeks, but you know. But to last kind of couple of days, I've just been cooking lots. Today I made macaroni cheese. I did Italian meatballs, and I made.
This is what we're doing now, is it? We're having a food feature.
Yeah.
Right.
I made some chicken tikka masala. What else have I made? I did some cheeseburgers last week, which were awesome. Love a cheeseburger. Yeah.
Good. Is that it?
Yeah. I mean, there's usual stuff. You know, irons in the fire and that, and I'm still plugging away trying to get a producer to come and produce my documentary. But nobody seems that bothered.
Tricky time in it for that.
It is, you know, it's kind of tricky as well because you want the right fit. You want somebody who has got a little bit of an interest, whether it's an interest in the north, in Yorkshire, or an interest with music or something like that. So you want a collaborator who's somewhat invested. So it's tricky trying to find the right person, really.
Well, don't give up. Keep going. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Aye.
Sponsored by Coca-Cola. I haven't got anything to share on screen because, quite frankly, I've been too busy, which is a nice thing to be able to say, but I have been too busy. However, I did get tested last week. COVID tested.
Did you?
I did, yeah.
And did you
pass?
Because
I'm doing with flying colours.
Brilliant.
I'm doing a job at the moment which requires all the actors to be tested every 2 weeks. And so this guy came in. So I don't know what all the fuss is about, quite frankly. This guy came in, little prick on the finger, onto what I can only describe as a pregnancy test. And within 60 seconds, he said, if you've got the virus, a big line will appear. If you're pregnant, a big line will appear. If you've had it and you're carrying the antibodies, another line will appear. So you get a double line. If you don't get any line, then you haven't had it and you don't have the antibodies. So I haven't had it and I haven't got the antibodies.
See,
but lots of... Go on.
I was going to say, because I knew that the antibody test, so this is the have you got it, was a blood test. I wasn't aware that an active viral test was blood as well, because that when I had mine, it was the swab up your nose and down the back of your throat.
Yeah, well, he was the guy was really funny. So yeah, it's a big sort of engineering company that we're doing this job for. It's a long story. I won't go into it. We'll probably go into it on future episodes when we have some of those actors in. But essentially, he does this for like offshore wind farms, offshore oil rigs, that sort of stuff. And so he basically is just doing this the whole time. And he was saying about the swab tests. And he was saying, yeah, you know, they do the swab tests. He said, but you do know, don't you, that when you go for the swab test and you have up the nose, up both noses and the side of the mouth, they count that as 4 tests.
Yeah.
So that's not counted as one test.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my god. Anyway, but there we are. So I've had the all clear. I'm happy as Larry. Turns out I've got syphilis and something else, but we're not going into that.
Well, we knew that.
Yeah. Anyway, look, shall we? Unless you've got anything else to share with us, shall we? Oh my God! No, I have got one thing to share. Oh, in fact, I'm going to get the guests in first. I'm going to do that. Something was brought into my life as you know, I don't really do Facebook these days, but something was brought into my life on Facebook today that everybody needs to experience, as far as I'm concerned. So we'll deal with that in a moment. But let's get our guests in. Unless you've got something to share, Mike. Sorry.
No.
Brilliant.
I did. Okay. I sat there today thinking, have I got anything to share? And I haven't.
Okay. I'm glad we got there in the end. Anyway, yeah. Excellent. Okie dokie. Right. So let's get our guests in, shall we?
Okay.
Excellent. Very, 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 very lucky. I'm so excited to have with us two amazing actors who I've known for quite a long time. For probably too long, actually. I'm getting old. But we have them.
Cut you both out now.
What?
You've known them for too long, so he's going to cut them both out of your life.
I think it'd be me that'd be being cut out. We have Olseja Sidorovich and Kirsty Armstrong. Hello, ladies.
Hey. Hi.
So glad that you agreed to come on. It's great. It's lovely. Kirsty, first of all, we were just saying that we did a job together 8-9 years ago, however long it was. First of all, you haven't changed a bit.
Oh, I have, Lee. 2 children. I've got wrinkles. I've definitely changed.
Having it. You're not having it. You're still looking your 20s, early 20s.
Thank you. I don't feel it anymore.
It's ridiculous. And 2 kids down. Well done, you.
Yes. I was thinking about the job we did. I don't think I'd be able to stand in that pair of heels that I had to wear for that job. Do you remember? And you sort of just stood behind me the whole time. Do you remember?
Yeah, sort of leering.
Yeah, it was such a good job, but it was definitely a strange old.
It was a strange old thing. Yeah, that strangely we took to the Lyric in Hammersmith, which was just bizarre.
Yeah, and it was fun. Like, do you remember the day we went to the West Yorkshire Playhouse costume department, and we had loads of fun.
We just literally rifled through the entire department. Very odd, very strange, really. But like you say, very, very exciting. I certainly remember the movement thing where we were we were on like a grid, and we had to just stick to the grid as we were going around, sort of doing what I can only describe as interpretive dance.
Yeah, and it was amazing. I can't remember much of it. Just odd snapshots of what we did, and it was just before Christmas, wasn't it? We went to the Lyric, and pretty impressive. And there was a pantomime on at the same time. Do you remember? And it was a good job, and it was nice to meet you, Lee.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. And Olesja, welcome. Quite freshly, actually, all the way from LA.
Yes.
I don't know whether you know Mike, but Olesja went over to study at the Stella Adler Academy.
I knew you were over there. I wasn't 100% whether you'd gone to Stella Adler's.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've seen it in some Instagram post. And it's just gone over my head a bit.
Actually, I wasn't on Instagram, and apparently all Americans are, so I lost a lot of my friends because I kept asking if they're on Facebook, and they're like, no.
It's like when Mike asks people if they're still on MySpace.
And Twitter as well. They don't even know what so I had to register to Instagram just to keep some of them.
I like Instagram.
Are you still in touch with some of them?
Well, yeah, we follow each other, sometimes write a little "I miss you" sort of thing. We had a really, really amazing class. Teacher was even saying that it's really unusual We used to do like all sorts of things on breaks, like gymnastics and stuff, just like stretching each other. And yeah, it was absolutely amazing. She said she probably, well, I don't know if they say that to everyone, but forever, because we were really, really nice class.
Yeah, I bet you say that to all the girls. That's what, yeah. Good. Well, we'll definitely talk a little bit more about that later. But let's jump straight in. And seeing as I'm with you, Olesja, can you give me a song for our isolation playlist, please?
I'm so bad at English songs.
It doesn't need to be English. It can be whatever you want. It could be Russian.
Won't be friends with me anymore. The one that was first when I don't know. I'm going to go with "Can't Touch This."
MC Hammer.
MC Hammer.
Like, genuinely, why? MC Hammer's going on the playlist.
Yeah. Why?
Like office spaces, and I know that they're really, really strict about. Basically, no one is allowed to touch each other's workspace now, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it. In fact, in many respects, I'm surprised that nobody has come up with that already. It's very good. It's very good.
Fun fact. I bought that and MC Hammer's follow-up single on 7-inch. I have them somewhere in the house.
What was his follow-up single?
I ain't got a clue. It was shit.
Nobody knows. No one knows. Another fun fact is that I did a music video probably round about the same time as we did that job, Kirsty. I did a music video for my friends, the Utah Saints, and in that video, it was sort of a piss take of MC Hammer and his Running Man. Everything's connected, you see.
It's a good video.
Very good. I'm going to come back to you after I've spoken to Kirsty, though, Olesja, because I want something in Russian or Latvian, or I want something else.
Oh.
Okay. Kirsty, what have you got for us?
So mine is X by Nicky Jam. Have you heard of that song?
I'm going to say yes, because I'm down with the kids. I know that.
So it's actually a Spanish song. It's all in Spanish. My husband is Spanish, and I don't have a clue what the words are, what the lyrics mean. But it's just such a holiday type feel song. And we did a little lockdown project as a family because I teach drama. So I set my students a task to make an advert set in the house, but pretending it was a holiday advert. So we had a go ourselves, typical drama teacher and actress, like, oh, I'll do this too. And yes, so we made a little short advert, and it was loads of fun. And we had it edited, and they put it, well, it was my sister's ex-boyfriend, that's a bit awkward, that edited it. Oh, I hope he's not watching. But he just randomly chose this song. And then it became our lockdown song, and every time it plays, it's just it just takes you to being in a hotel on your holidays, and it just has a holiday feel to it. So that became our holiday song. Just
remind me the title of the song.
Called X, and it's by Nicky Jam. I bet when you hear it, you'll be like, oh, I know that song, but I can't even sing it because I just make such a bad attempt at it.
Well, I'm gonna, now you've said that, I am going to ask you to sing it. But before you do that, my guess is going to be, with my limited knowledge of Spanish songs. I did live in Spain for a while, but my limited knowledge of Spanish songs, they are usually utter filth.
Oh, that'd be really embarrassing if it was a really filthy song and I didn't even know about it.
Like Despacito, it is utter filth.
I didn't know that.
It's filth. So come on then, give us the.
Oh no, I can't do it. Oh no, I can't. I can play it, but am I allowed to play it on?
What do you mean you're allowed?
Because you know it. You'll know the song.
I thought you were going to get your guitar or something. I'm going to play it for you.
Are you not allowed to? No, I've got it on my phone, but let me.
Yeah.
Do you want me to play it?
No, it's all right. Don't worry.
It's the kind of song that everyone will be like, oh yeah, it's like da 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 da. Oh no.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Oh,
Yeah.
As soon as everyone will know X by Nicky Jam, and you'll have heard it, and you'll be like, oh yes, it reminds me of holidays, and it just makes you want to dance. And my little girls love dancing to it as well. So yes, that's my lockdown song.
Okay, that's definitely two we haven't had, so that's excellent. And anything that reminds us of holidays. Do you know what? I wasn't too bothered about not going on holiday, quite frankly, but right now, I'd really like to go on holiday. I'd really like to and I'm not one for laying on beaches particularly. I get a bit bored, but I'd really like to lay next to a pool for a week.
Yeah, me too.
Right, Olesja, come on. Let's have a non-English song, please.
Oh, God. It's called «Всё хорошо, всё будет хорошо».
Okay,
Basically,
can you spell that? Just send me it. Don't spell it.
Basically, it's like really. It sounds really folky.
Okay.
My family is crazy about dancing. They're dancing like no one is watching. It's like no one cares. Everyone is doing all sorts of things. So we always dance to this artist. His name is Vera Serduchka.
Okay. Oh yeah. I know him. Yeah.
And she was in a couple of American films. Like some of the songs of hers were like on few films. She did something on Swine, something she was singing supposedly in German also. It was. I mean, she always brings my mood up, and the song is basically the I don't know what the song was about, but the chorus goes, "Good, everything will be good."
Okay, great.
Positive message, yeah.
Positive messaging, absolutely. Well, speaking about dancing, like nobody is watching, I'm going to share, Mike. I'm going to share my screen because this. Anybody, if you've got me on Facebook, you may have seen this already, but it was sent. It was what do you call it? Reposted or whatever you call it on Facebook by Mark Babbage and a friend of mine, Anita, who is a voice coach. And let me share my screen. Where are we? That will do. Facebook. Start sharing. Hey, that's good, isn't it? So this is. I've turned the music off, but essentially, this guy is singing "Sex Bomb," right? And this is a choir of Russian soldiers, right? It is the Russian choir. And they're singing "Sex Bomb." It is genius, this guy. But the reason I'm saying dancing like nobody's watching because I want you to watch this guy about to come in now. Hang on, where is he?
I can't bear this.
No, hang on. Let me just skip it on a little bit. Here we go. So he's sex bomb. Yup, here we go. Look at this guy.
Oh, wow, he's going for it.
Oh, no. My eyes are leaking.
But the thing is, it's absolutely not a piss take. This genuinely is. Hang on, let me. Where's Tassimo? Yeah, this is genuine. The Red Army choir singing "Sex Bomb," and it's just like an actual Russian army choir. That is just genius. It's absolute genius. So that was the thing I wanted to share, but I was obviously stopped for. What am I doing with that? Let me stop. What's this? What's going on with that? Right. So that was the Russian choir. How do you feel about that, Olesja?
I'm not embarrassed at all.
No.
I absolutely love that because a lot of people, like when I was even at Stella Adler's, one of the girls came to me. She was like, "Oh, I thought all Russians are angry." She's like, "I have never seen a person like you before."
Was she American?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So obviously, she never went to Russia, but this is just a normal thing.
That's something else, that, don't you think? That really cheered my day up.
It kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you remember, Michael Palin used to do those travel shows in the 90s. And he was in Russia, and there was a choir, a military choir, I think it was a Navy choir. And this is still when it was USSR as well, because I think the next day, USSR fell. That was like a big thing that they'd got out of. Anyway. And when they sing, they sway side to side. And it's like a really jolly thing. And it was just like, yeah, just like that. And I remember like that as like an 8-year-old was just like, that's amazing. I love that.
Well, you need to come to Russian wedding at some point. You will see how.
I'd love that.
Is that an invite?
Love that. Well, you were getting married soon, weren't you?
Yeah, we'll have to invite you now on.
Yeah, we'll be one of your 15.
Yeah, it'll be fine. We'll all be dead by then.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So moving on. Moving on. Kirsty, coming back to you. What's the most coronavirus thing you've done, or have you already told us?
The most corona. Oh, maybe making an advert. No, I think the most coronavirus thing I've done is get a coronavirus test because my daughter had an ear infection. So no one would see it. No doctor would see it until we both got tested. So yeah, it was a really bizarre trip into Bradford for a test.
Was that the drive-in? Through the drive-in?
No, it was the walk-in.
Okay.
And this is going back quite a few weeks now, where I think it was really quiet. So yeah, it was a surreal experience because it felt like it was just me and her going into this big white tent. I did kind of feel like I was in a film at some points. But yeah, bless her, it wasn't nice having to stick something down her throat.
Oh, I was going to say, did they do it the same way? It was straight down the swab down the throat and...
So for adults, they say swab down the throat and up your nose, but for children, they just said just do it down the throat. Right. And then you have to do it on, like I had to do it. So you think, have I done it right? Is it going to be a false negative? I don't know, but I knew she hadn't. Well, I was very certain it was more an ear thing rather than coronavirus. Yeah. But yeah, for us, it was, we got the results really quickly. But yeah, that would have to be the most coronavirus thing I've done so far, and hopefully I won't have to do it again.
Yeah, let's hope not. No, good. Yeah. All right. And she's all right now, all cleared up with her ear? Awesome. Okay. Olesja, what most coronavirus thing you've done?
Banana bread.
Oh, come on. You can't be giving me the banana bread. Everybody did the banana, apart from me. Everybody did the banana bread.
Well, I didn't even know. My partner came home and he was like, "Oh, fancy banana bread."
Who said that?
So I made him, and then like the next thing I posted on Instagram made it all look nice and everything. And then my friend commented, "Oh wow, banana bread never got this much exposure." And I'm like, "What does she mean?" And then I realized that everyone is putting banana bread out. What? Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, banana bread was a thing. Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, I'm glad that's the most coronavirus thing you've done. That's boring. Yeah. Before, so moving on swiftly. What was the last character you played? What was the last character called that you played? Sticking with you, Olesja, first.
Princess.
what was that in?
I did a self-tape for a princess.
Okay. Was that recently or before lockdown?
No, it was during the lockdown.
Oh, okay.
And I just thought I fit perfectly until I started doing it, and I think I'm not princess anymore.
How devastating!
Yeah. Did you think you were a lovely little princess?
Yeah.
And it turns out you're not.
No.
Can you remember any of the lines?
Oh God, no! This is so bad. No.
Oh.
So something I had to be sarcastic.
Sarcastic princess, good.
They kind of made like a modern twist, I guess, on that part. So I had to kind of like go to my peasant or whatever. Did you do this to him? as in he turned up in something that didn't look great. So I was like, did you do this to him? And had to like.
Okay, sounds like a thrilling job.
Yeah, it sounds well written anyway, doesn't it?
All right then, Kirsty, what was the last character that you played?
So I've had a few like Zoom auditions recently, but I wouldn't say that they were a particular character. Character where I would be the last job that I had before I had my babies, because I've had a little bit of time off recently. So yeah, it would have been in the Moorside with Sheridan Smith, where I was playing her daughter.
Having a baby.
Very heavily pregnant, having a baby, and I think it may have jinxed me, and actually maybe Sheridan as well. Well, she's worked after that, but yeah, we both ended up having a baby after that job.
So you weren't pregnant at the time?
I was, but I didn't know.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't showing.
No, it wasn't. It was very, very early pregnant. Oh no, was it? No, actually, I've got it wrong. So when I filmed it, I wasn't pregnant. But then when we went to the, we got invited down to BAFTA to watch it for the premiere, and I was pregnant then. And I did know I was pregnant, because I remember going on my own and just really wanting a glass of wine, and I couldn't. So yeah, I was pregnant. And I remember speaking to the producer actually and talking about the fact that I was playing a young mum and saying, oh yeah, maybe I'll have a baby. And he was basically said, no, don't. So I was like, oh yeah. There's no
Why was he saying no, don't?
Oh, I think he thought I was like much younger than I was, and he was just saying, go and live your life, go traveling and all this. And I was thinking, I have been married for, a few years now. I've got a granddad husband. Not that he's not really a granddad. He's he'll kill me for saying that. He's only like 4 years older than me. No, 7 years older than me. So yeah, I remember thinking when I was talking to him, oh shit, I'm pregnant and I'm lying to your face. but yeah, I think that job must have cursed Sheridan and I. So yeah, I've had a little bit of a break from the acting industry and focused on being a mum, and obviously it's relentless, the hardest job that I've ever had. And then yeah, just slowly getting back into it, and then coronavirus hits.
Yay!
Amazing. Yeah, I actually graduated in 2009 in the recession. So like the first job that I got was cancelled because of the recession. It was a theatre job, and now yeah, had 2 kids, ready to go back into it, and yeah, coronavirus. Coronavirus, the shitter that is corona. Oh, sorry, we're not meant to swear.
No, I think you're all right with shitter. We've had a lot worse than that.
Okay.
I got to see you last time we were live.
Yeah. It's really only my mum that complains when people swear. Yeah. Mainly just when Mike swears, to be fair. Yeah. She doesn't mention it when I swear, but when
Sorry,
Mike
Lee's mum. Sorry, Lee's.
She gets a bit upset. Yeah, coronavirus came along. What a shitter. Excellent. Can you remember what the last line was that you filmed, Kirsty?
Filmed in that or in
well, I assume that was the last thing you filmed.
That was the last filming job. It would have been have an old mum. And because you edited my show reel.
I did.
Yeah, and it was great. Like, I am a huge Sheridan fan, and to work with her was amazing. But yeah, I didn't think holding that baby I would have my own. But it's amazing.
Interesting, isn't it? Yeah, interesting. I'm not sure. I'm sure at that point Sheridan didn't think she would have her own either, like you said. But did she have her dogs on set? Did you meet her dogs?
I did. Yeah, I think. Did I meet Sheridan's dogs? No, I'm not. No, I don't think I did, because we were all. A lot of my stuff was on location, so I don't think. Yeah. I can't say for sure.
Because I wondered at what stage you have to be in your career to be able to take your dog to work on set.
Gotta be high. Michelle Keegan takes her dogs to work, I'm told.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to rule the roost, haven't you?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I was lucky enough to work with Sheridan on Care, and that was a couple of years ago. And yeah, when I got onto set first day, the dogs were running around, and you're thinking, "Blimey, whose are these dogs?" Oh, the Sheridans. Oh, okay, great.
That's fine.
That's great.
Do you want to take your dog on set, Lee? Is that
Oh God, no! It'd be an absolute nightmare. It'd be jumping up. It'd be pulling lights down. It'd be an absolute nightmare. Okie dokie, right. So because this is actually becoming a little bit more prevalent again, I wanted to ask you, and I'll stick with you, Kirsty, as soon as we're talking. At the height of the lockdown, how many toilet rolls did you have in the house?
He'll kill me for saying this, but my husband is a bit of a, I can't even describe him. He's very organised and protective, and he called this whole coronavirus situation before anyone else did. So yeah, I would say we started getting toilet rolls in like January, like really early on, and we laughed at him so much. You know, he was like ordering like masks and stuff from China, and it was a bit of a family joke that he was like, this is gonna take off, and we all sort of ate our words in the end. So I would say at least two bumper packs of toilet rolls.
So when you say a bumper pack, what are we talking?
How many's in the pack?
I don't know. Are we talking a 24 bumper pack or a 48 bumper pack?
I'm talking 24 bumper packs.
Okay, it's not too bad.
Like the police coming after me for we weren't panic buying, but we're just we need those toilet rolls. We go through far too many toilet rolls, and I do always say that, like, where are the toilet rolls going? But yeah, I would say two packs of 24 bumper packs always in the wardrobe.
Definite mid-table, that, isn't it?
When you've got toilet rolls stored away in the wardrobe, you know that you've got some sort of problem.
Yeah.
But it's not my problem. It's my husband's problem.
Yeah, that's a lot of toilet roll. It is a lot of toilet roll,
it's
but it's still it's sort of, is it mid-table though?
Yeah, it's kind of it's like 9, 10, 11. It's around there.
Is it? What, we've had 9 people with more than 50 toilet rolls?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, we've had some big hitters the last few weeks.
Yeah. That was 100. How many did Alice have? Did she say
190 or something?
190 or something like that.
Yeah.
And she wasn't apologetic at all. She didn't care. No, not apologetic.
But wasn't that just standard though?
I think that was standard. I think they just had a lot of toilet rolls in the house. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Olesja, how are we doing on the toilet roll front?
We went panic buying and we went stocking up. So 9.
Did you run out?
9.
Yeah.
You didn't,
It's
you didn't
relegation
run out.
form that.
9 pack generally, and just keep it. But I guess it depends how big your house is as well, how many toilets you have. So
I'm not sure it does. I often just buy a 4-pack. We've got 2 toilets, but I often just buy a 4-pack. What do you need toilet roll for? Having said that, I have now got a teenage son, so I might have to start buying more toilet roll.
Well, I just figured out that to buy in bigger quantities, so that's why we're buying 9s.
Yeah, that is a good point. And of course, if you go to somewhere like Costco, you're going to buy big. You're going to buy in bulk, aren't you?
I used to have Costco. Yeah, my friend we used to send my friend because he had a card just for the toilet roll.
Okay, well, it's happening again. People are panic buying again.
Yeah,
it's starting all over with all that stuff. Okay, good. Right. Favorite moment, Olesja. Favorite moment.
My favorite moment. You mean on set or?
Whichever, just industry connected.
Well, the favorite moment, I guess, was LA, but the more like narrowing down industry, like proper connected, it was when I was an extra in a movie called Limehouse Golem, and there were quite few famous people on set, but when Bill Nighy walked in, I thought I'm going to drop dead from happiness. And he didn't even say much. I mean, he walked past me when walked in his character, straight to the line. I don't even know whether he had lines. It just kind of like they filmed him with that look, turned around, and walked out, and I was so happy. I'm like, oh my god! But yeah,
I'll take Bill Nighy. That was a decent moment. Yeah, I'll have that.
I really, really love him. I really, really love his work.
But studying at the Stella Adler Academy, for me, loving Stella Adler, that would be high up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be high up there. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. I absolutely loved it there, and I don't think I appreciated things as much as I should have. So now looking back at it, I think that I should have enjoyed more, because I was so, I need to study, I need to do that, I need to do that.
Yeah, of course you were. You were engrossed in it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was absolutely amazing. The seriousness about everything, how they praise English actors everywhere.
See, I think that seriousness is the thing that I would struggle with a little bit. I think because when I get nervous and when I feel slightly out of my comfort zone, I just start cracking jokes. I make and I think I'd get into a lot of trouble. I think they'd think I was trouble.
Well, you needed to know basically when to be serious, but I think she loved our class because we did crack up jokes.
Okay.
So it was, but she had this very stern look. It wasn't laughing for a long period of time. It would just kind of like, she would smile. While she's smiling, we're laughing, and then it kind of like, you have to drop it immediately as soon as you stop smiling. So like back to work. But yeah, went all the way there just to be told that England has the best schools ever.
Yeah, that'd be annoying. Yeah. You should have just stayed at home. Okay, thank you. Yeah, great.
Did while you was in LA, was there any sort of celeb spotting? Any did you see Tom Cruise getting sushi or anything like that?
You know, I was absolutely like, I was really upset because everyone kept telling me that they're like right, left, and wherever you look there is a celebrity. It's so not true. And besides like, oh god, Hollywood Boulevard, my Stella Adler is right on Hollywood Boulevard, so the first thing I saw was at Hollywood Boulevard, and it's not as glamorous as you would think it is.
I've heard it's a bit of a shithole.
Oh, it's, yeah.
Look at the disappointment. Oh.
I walked out of the metro kind of like, and oh my god! And then they had Oscars whilst I was there, so I saw all the preparation, the amount of cleaning of that Hollywood Boulevard they had to do before they laid that red carpet. But I mean,
get rid of all the homeless people. Get rid of them.
Yeah, it was quite upsetting for me, because also they don't have. They're only starting to develop their public transport structure, so everyone is driving. Yeah, everyone is driving. So because apparently, I don't know, I'm not sure, but someone told me that they were investing into car dealerships. So everyone they made sure that the public transport disappear. Okay. So now people, like families, have 2-3 cars. So they need to do something with that, with pollution and stuff. So they're trying to bring it back in. So I was pretty much the only person, me and very, very poor people, unfortunately, who were taking metro. So on streets, it was just me walking. The rest of the people are driving. It was really bizarre. I mean, in London, everyone is on a metro.
Yeah. In a big city. Yeah, bizarre.
Yeah, but the studying was just absolutely amazing. The techniques that they teach you, and it's not just acting, it's concentration. Like things, for example, that yanks you out of the routine. They're teaching you how to relax and basically stop and breathe. So like the most memorable, I guess, was you need to do one thing at the time. If you're driving without music, without sat-nav, you're purely driving. If you're eating, you're doing it without the phone, without the music, without TV, you're just eating. Just basically concentrate on this one thing. It was just kind of, it's so weird. Or like every class started with, what did you see? Something new that you haven't ever seen before. And because I was traveling to the class on a metro, I didn't have to see anything for a week. Just get on the metro and see something that I will freak the crap out. Sorry. Like a laughing man without shoes, stuff like that.
Okay.
So great.
That was Tom Cruise.
That was probably Tom Cruise. Yeah. Okay. Fabulous. Thank you very much. Kirsty, favourite industry moment?
Favourite industry moment? So I did a short film called Bradford Halifax, London, years ago. I think it's like 2013, 2014. And it was one of those bizarre moments as an actor where I just got a call from my agent, and this director wanted to meet me. He'd seen me and been recommended that I meet with him from the casting director that used to cast for Heartbeat, and he wanted to meet me because he wanted a natural Yorkshire actress. So he wanted to meet me in the train station in Leeds. So it was like, okay, that's a different type of audition. But obviously it was all through my agent, so I knew it was all legit.
Yeah.
Met him, and then he told me of this idea of a short film they had, and that it was all going to be shot on a train, and it would be one continuous take. And it was a short film, and he'd never made any films before, so it sounded amazing as an actor to have that challenge to do one continuous take, and there would be no edit because it was just one camera.
Was it 15 minutes?
It was 15 minutes, yeah, so 15 minutes on a train. So I was thinking, I don't know whether I even thought much of it at the time. I think I just thought, I'll take anything, and what a bizarre, and you know what it's like when you feel a bit special when someone's said, oh God, I'm meeting you in Starbucks. It was a really, really random audition, and just didn't think much of it at all. So he cast me from that. He didn't ask me to do any acting at the time. We just chatted about, I don't know what coffee we were drinking. And then, so we went for the rehearsals on a farm in Keighley, and it just felt so unprofessional at the time. We went to his mum and dad's house. His mum made, it was gorgeous.
Did you marry this man? Is this who you married?
No, this is not who I married. But there is a punchline to this story. Okay. So yeah, it was lovely, and he was the nicest director that you could ever have worked with, and the other two actors that were playing my mum and dad had done quite a lot before, and I was thinking, wow, these actors are quite established actors, and just had such a lovely time rehearsing this really simple idea for a film of literally just a family getting on a train, basically. Filmed it was lovely. He was so he was just such a director that was just so nurturing of his actors, and a massive challenge as an actor to not have any sort of that you couldn't cut it at any time. Once we got on that train, that was it. We had to be
just before you get to the punchline.
Yeah.
So was this just just a train? We
literally got on the train at where is it called, like Mythenroyd or somewhere like in the middle of on the like London, on the Bradford to Halifax line.
A passenger train, just people.
Yeah, I mean, thinking back, I think he must have like spoke to the train company so that we had like an allocated carriage to get.
Okay.
So we did kind of like all meet as cast like at the train station, and we did kind of like meet as a cast.
Yeah.
But then so it was literally like go for it, and he just put so much trust in us, as actors, and also the fact that I'd never even auditioned. He'd just seen some of my work before. So we got on the so literally he was waiting at the doors when the train doors opened, and I remember him going like that to me, and I was thinking, what does he mean? And then in my head I'm like, he means like just be really, really, really natural and small. We filmed it. It didn't really, at the time I was like, whatever, like it's done, like didn't really overthink much. And it won loads of short film awards because it was a great idea, and obviously it was really brave of him as a director to do that. And then I went to a few I went to a premiere at Hyde Park Picture House of the film, and I looked at it and thought, it was such a cool film and different to a lot of the stuff you see. And that director is Francis Lee, who directed God's Own Country, and now has just directed Kate Winslet and Saoirse Ronan. So I was like, oh my God, that's a good person to have on my CV.
You need to be writing to him.
I know, I thought that, Lee. I thought, oh God, I need to get back in. I need to get back in touch and be a bit like, remember me?
Yeah, absolutely, you do. Wow, that's amazing.
And he was just so modest, and when you just. And thinking back, I remember him saying that he had written a feature film, but it wasn't like off the ground at the time. And it just kind of makes because I teach drama now and I teach acting to kids, and it just makes you think, do you know what? You never know who you work with, and some really some actors out there, they're a bit like, I have just finished filming this role, and they're a bit sort of high and mighty. And I just think it reminds you that everyone is trying to get by in this industry, and you never know what they're going to go on to do. And sometimes opportunities just come to you. You're constantly waiting for your agent to ring, and you go through the standard audition process. But when something like that comes along, it's like, oh my God, that was. Like probably now, I'll look back and be like, oh my God, that was the highlight of my career to have worked with such a big established director.
Yeah.
So that would be my industry highlight.
That's pretty good.
I know it's a really long-winded story.
No, it's a great story. Yeah. It's a great story. So because you went to his parents' household, was he quite? I'm not sure how old he is. Was he young?
Yeah, he's like probably in his oh God, I'm rubbish with age. I'd say he's like in his. No, it wasn't he. Oh God, it was probably like 4. He felt quite old to be living with his parents.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, and I think that kind of added to it. It was like he's still, but he lived on his parents' farm, and obviously I think that's what inspired him for God's Own Country. Like that kind of farm in Keighley, and he grew up there. But he's great, and I definitely want to see Ammonite, his new film with Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
Because it's got a bit of a buzz about it, I think. I'm rubbish with films, to be honest, but it's got a bit of a buzz about what it's gonna be about and stuff. So
fantastic. Get that email sent.
Yeah,
get it sent quickly.
I'm rubbish at self-promotion, but I'll send it. It's so cringe though, isn't it?
No, but I'd be watching that film as soon as possible, and then I've just watched the film. Great, blah 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 blah. You don't even have to introduce yourself, do you? He knows who you are.
I know that, but I know you could have Saoirse Ronan and Kate Winslet, but why not have me?
As well. It doesn't have to be one or the other. As well. Absolutely. And could you mention me in it as well? Just stick my spotlight link or whatever.
Yeah, and you. I'll mention everyone.
Just everyone.
And do you know what though? He was so big on Yorkshire actors and Northern talent. I'm sure that if there was ever ever,
Yeah.
opportunities.
He's moved on now, though.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got Kate Winslet now, hasn't he? Like, he clearly don't give a shit about Yorkshire.
I reckon Kate Winslet can probably pull off a northern accent, so you know what I mean. It's there it is.
Yeah.
Emma Thompson, I'm sure she can. They need the work anyway, don't they? Bless them.
Yeah. With the dogs on set.
With the dogs on set, absolutely, yeah. In fact, talking of Sheridan Smith, my wife Rachel started watching, oh God, what's it called? Oh, the 316 or something. The thing on so it's her and David Morrissey, who I've also worked with, actually. Not Kate Winslet. Sheridan Smith and Sheridan Smith and David Morrissey, and they meet on this train and they work in the same office.
Yeah. It was out a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's not new because she looks quite young in it. Not that she looks old now. I'm just saying. But she does look quite young in it. And fucking hell, she's good in that. She's good in that. Really, really good in it. He's all right as well, actually. But anyway, I think it's on the iPlayer or something. It's been re-shown on BBC Two, but it's really, really good. I'm sure it's called the 316 or...
Yeah, I think you're right. It is.
Something
so
like...
I remember my wife watching it, and I was a bit like, nah, because I don't watch telly.
Brilliant. Yeah. Good. Right. Favorite moments done. Excellent. Right. Before we get, let's do the serious bit. Sticking with you, Kirsty. Then industry. What's the industry going to look like?
Positives or negatives?
Let's go with either.
Okay. I think positives. I hope that auditions are done, especially initial auditions. I hope that more are done. It kind of hurts me to say it a little bit, but maybe like those initial auditions are done online, like via Zoom, especially if it's something. Like if it's something that you can get across on a Zoom call rather than going all the way to London. If you're going to be in the room for 15, not even that, 2 minutes. I think casting directors will definitely cotton on to that and think this is such an easy way of doing it. As an actor, it does really pain me to say that because we all know that we like being in the room and you like feeling that rapport. But yeah, I think Zoom castings will really take off after everything. Negatives, yeah. It's just the theatre industry at the minute it's just a dire situation, isn't it? And I think there's just I kind of feel we all lived in hope throughout lockdown that it was going to be a short period of time, and I think I don't know whether it's because it's the 6-month mark and we've had all like Boris last night within 6 months again. I think everyone's just thinking, oh my God, how are we going to get out of this and what's the future?
Yeah, I think you're right with that sort of optimism that we had at the beginning, which was, by Panto, I'm sure it'll be fine. And it's like, no, it's no way. I mean, I imagine a lot of theatres who were thinking, well, we can't do Panto, but we might do an Easter sort of Panto. That's looking unlikely.
But I watched some of your shows, like your other ones, and I think you did some back even in the middle of August? Someone was saying, I just hope Pantos go ahead, and there was that optimism then, like as long as Pantos, we get back on track for Panto season because that brings so much money in. And now obviously, I don't know about you, but I think a lot of the Panto, like a lot of my friends have had their Panto stuff cancelled. It's just that optimism has gone. Yeah.
The Panto that I do hasn't been cancelled officially, or the Panto that I have done hasn't been cancelled officially. But I struggle to see how they're going to be able to manage it. I mean, it says a lot, doesn't it, when the National Theatre are changing the Olivier to In the Round and they're going to do a pantomime. It's like, this is the National Theatre. When was the last time they did a pantomime? Have they ever done a pantomime? and it'd be heavily subsidised, and they want, of course it will. But yeah, it's theatres. Forget it. I think to some degree. Having said that, sorry, Kirsty, just before you move on. Having said that, I was thinking about a show that you told me about when we worked together, which was site specific, which I think there'll be a lot more site specific sort of things happening, which is a potential positive. But didn't you do something where you were sat in a bath for like 3 days?
Yes. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, so I did a site specific piece on domestic violence. And actually, I'm actually annoyed with myself that I didn't say that as my favourite industry moment, because that was one of my favourite jobs, just because it was so important. But yeah, the audience walked round the house. So it was a house in Bradford on like a council estate, and it's an amazing, I can't speak highly enough of this company, Commonwealth Theatre Company in Bradford. Well, they're based in Bradford, but they do stuff everywhere now. But oh god, something just fell behind me. But they do a lot of site-specific work, and they really reach out to audiences that would never normally go to the theatre. But then again, Lee, it's just how many you'd get in. The beauty of that show was the fact that the audience could take their pick of whether they went into the bathroom or whether they went, the house was the set, so they could walk wherever they wanted. And I suppose, you could say that you can do it with an audience of 6. But when I think back to some of the scenes, there was me and a few actors in a room, and the audience were literally like all crammed in together, because the whole point was that the audience were meant to feel like a fly on the wall. So whether that would work in this times, I'm not sure. But yeah, I think you're right. I think definitely site-specific work might hopefully take off.
Yeah. I hope so. Joe, you were about to say something.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, before that, I was just about to say, like how the television industry is also like obviously struggling. I know from sort of teaching, and some of the kids that I teach are really, really lucky to get amazing opportunities, and are filming at the minute. But it's just stuff you don't even think about, like, young kids who need a chaperone to help get the kid dressed on set. They can't have that chaperone getting them dressed anymore. They have to have the parent there and the chaperone, because the chaperones can't have that physical contact. And again, I just think how many parents have that time to say, okay, yeah, I'll take all the time off work so you can have that opportunity, because I know my husband couldn't just book time off work. And and the TV industry, I just don't know how they're getting by, but clearly they're making it work, because things are getting made. But I don't know how things change there.
Yeah, it's interesting. Everything seems to be starting up, and then all of a sudden something happens, and you go, oh my god, we're going backwards again. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Olesja, any thoughts?
Kirsty actually stole mine in the beginning. I was thinking about the traveling as well, and I was thinking about it for quite a long time. Do I want to do it online? Do I not want to do it online? Because I do feel that personality matters. So I would say that I won't necessarily want the auditions to be self-tapes, but I would like them to be Zoom auditions, because we don't have to travel for these first couple of sessions when you're not even sure what your character is, who your character is. You probably just need to read those first lines and just kind of brainstorm about it, rather than, travel, go all the way, say this little tiny script, and you don't even know what the whole perspective is. And I think it would give Northern actors more of a chance to be cast in something that is London based and things like that. So I hope that, because they were doing it during the pandemic, I hope maybe they will carry on doing that in future.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so. Listen, I don't want to do Zoom auditions. I'm going to be honest with you. But of course I will. And if that opens up opportunities for more people, great.
I just,
You know,
sometimes they say that it takes a lot away from your performance. But if it takes away from everyone equally, you're still kind of on the same level.
yeah.
So
Absolutely. And like I say, I think that the casting directors have made, I won't say have made the rod for their own backs, but I think they have reached out during lockdown to a lot of people, which is great. They've reached out, but now they they have a responsibility to follow that up. And really start casting pushing the net a little bit wider, and hopefully they will do that and continue to do that. So let's hope so. Let's try and be optimistic about it. Right, okay, look, it's 9 o'clock. I really appreciate your time, so I'm going to end on this final question, and I'll stick with you, Olesja. What's been your vice during lockdown?
oh my God, vice. Can you expand on that? What do you?
Yeah,
what,
I can. Absolutely. What has got you through? What is, what? So a vice might be, it might be, a little bit too much of this. It might be too much cake. It could be, somebody could have started smoking again. I don't know. Whatever it is that's got you through, the vice-wise. But what I don't want is, my family. Yeah.
I don't have my family here. So no, not my family.
Because of course families helped us get through. Partners and families,
books, and TV. But I love books. Why are you looking at me like that?
Books. Come on. Okay.
Depends what books they are, though.
Does it?
I actually, this is so embarrassing. I read, because at Stella Adler, all they talk about is Chekhov. And me being Russian, I've never read it.
Have you not read Chekhov in the original form?
I've never, because I went to Latvian school. Yeah. Being from a Russian family, I went to Latvian school. I didn't get that mandatory literature that was supposed to be Chekhov, Tolstoy, all that. I was reading Latvian books. So I finally read Chekhov. I read The Seagull. I read Three Sisters.
Did you read them in English or in Russian?
In Russian, yeah. Definitely in Russian. I might give it a go in English, but I don't even know if I'm supposed to, because there's so many. I mean, they talked about Three Sisters at Stella Adler as well, and they mentioned, they were talking about this one scene when one of them goes off to duel. What's his name? I forgot the character's name. I'm really bad at it. But there's like a little thing that she in Russian book, she puts her head on his chest, and then he goes off. In English translation, a lot of the times they don't put that way. For me, it's really important because I think it's my personal interpretation that she tried to hide her eyes from him because she didn't want him to see what she feels, or like that's how I think. But in English, they kind of skip that. The scene goes on and he goes off. So like little bits like that are lost in translation, which.
That's really interesting. It's really interesting that she might be hiding what she feels, because I'm pretty sure in the Three Sisters, after the first 10 minutes, the Three Sisters spend the whole next fucking 3 hours crying. That is essentially what happens in that play.
Well, Chekhov was considered a comedy writer.
Yeah. I know he was. I know. And Stanislavski got hold of it and went, "This isn't comedy."
No, not really.
And Chekhov hated the fact that Stanislavski was directing his plays. Hated it. Yeah. Anyway, so I've read. Who knows? But good. Okay, we'll have that. Books. All right. If that's what you're sticking with books, are you?
Well, and it's Netflix.
Okay. All right. There's been no alcohol.
I wasn't actually drinking during the pandemic.
Rubbish.
I honestly,
wow.
I quit drinking after LA.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. It sounds like there's a story in there for another time. Good. All right. Kirsty, what has been your other than your lovely, beautiful family? What has been your vice during lockdown?
Well, I think my beautiful family have driven me to my vice.
Beautiful. Now, I know how petite you are. You're very small, and I'm trying to work out whether that is a really big glass or it's just a normal size glass.
It's a really big glass, and actually at the start of this, I looked at it and I thought, oh my God, people are going to think I'm an alcoholic, which I am not an alcoholic.
Denial.
You know.
I know. Yeah, it has. I hate to say it, but yeah, it has been wine, and it's. I don't know. As a mum, like I feel like I've put in a full shift. Like when the girls, they're up at 7 o'clock, and it's just constant, like all day. And now I'm teaching as well. Well, actually, through lockdown, I would pour myself a glass of wine when I got them to bed, because it was almost like, oh, it's adult time now, and I can, this is your reward. So yeah, it's been wine, and I love wine. And I also think, do you know what? I gave it up for 9 months twice. I can reward myself.
I
with
think that's fair
a
enough.
glass or two of wine. But I am really, really trying just to do it on weekends. And just made an odd exception for tonight's Wednesday night chat.
Absolutely, and yeah, you deserve it. I also imagine, and I'm maybe stereotyping here, but I imagine your husband being Spanish. I imagine he likes a glass of wine.
He doesn't. I really wish.
Really?
I really wish he would, because I'm a little bit of a wine snob. Like no one would ever think it, but yeah, I used to be. Alongside acting, I waitressed for years and years and years, and I loved that, because it was such a flexible second second job in between auditions. Yeah. So I got into my wine a little bit, because we did like wine tasting kind of nights. So yeah, I do like a good wine. So I'd like to share it with him, but he's he's beer or amaretto. Yeah, he'd never have a glass of wine. But then I just think actually it'd be really bad if he did drink it, because then I'd have to share the bottle with him.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
No,
you need to keep the bottle for yourself.
Exactly. Yes.
Awesome. Ladies, thank you so much. It's been an absolute joy. And it's been lovely to catch up with you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us. Nice to meet you.
Love to the family. Mike's waving. Love to the families. Speak to you very soon. We're going to wrap up the show. What's it called? Show. Program. We're going to wrap this. Whatever this is, we're going to wrap it up. And feel free to stay on if you wish, but you can log off. And much love, and speak to you later.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
How lovely was that?
Very lovely. Very lovely. Do you know what this show also reminds me? That despite the fact that I'm generally a miserable old get,
really,
I actually know some really lovely people.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of astounded that they still talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's some weeks when it's a bit difficult, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's odd, isn't it?
There's one thing I meant to say early on in the show during the thing is when we were talking about kind of what I've been up to. One thing I did do this week, which is the worst thing I've done in a long time, is I trimmed my beard far too short, and I now look like I've got like a fucking egg for an head. Way too short.
Fair
I've got
enough.
some dye and everything to dye it, and I just went, and it's too short, and I can't dye it because it's too short.
Too short, just let it. It'll soon grow back.
Yeah.
All right.
Proper annoyed me.
Can't see from it. Yeah. Right. Okie dokie. Let's finish it off. Thank you very much. Subscribe, all that stuff, whatever.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please share this with all your friends. Please, if you are on YouTube, hit the notification bell so you'll see next time we do a live. You'll see that pop up and you'll be able to come straight over for the start, or whenever you are available to get to a source of internet.
Yeah, if I didn't know that you didn't drink, assumed you'd had a drink.
No, in fact, very quickly, last week when we were back on set filming, and your lovely wife assisted very, very well. We had a conversation about me not drinking, and I was like, I'm kind of feeling like I want to start drinking again. That's it, really.
Just don't bother. Just don't go. See, the devil inside me goes, just do it. But if you're not bothered, you're not bothered. I wouldn't bother.
The only thing I really miss is Saltaire Brewery do an amazing strawberry blonde beer, which is like some of the best beer ever.
Okay. All right.
And I do quite miss that. I wish the non-alcoholic stuff was as good and inventive as some of the other stuff that's out there. There's like 3 non-alcoholic beers which are any good. I'm
sure it will be eventually. They'll get onto it.
Yeah.
Think about your health. Think about your heart. Right, come on, let's go.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. We'll see you next week, maybe, unless there's football on and Lee wants to watch Leeds.
No, we'll see you next week.
Oh, that's one thing. That's one thing. Leeds v West Ham is on my birthday weekend. We should do a watch along live on the internet.
Okay, well, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun.
Right. Yeah, I'll do that.
Because we're still going to be locked down, so I'm not going anywhere for my birthday. So let's do that.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Thanks very much. Adios from the bunker.